What is The Shape of Water? I mean, does it even have a shape? Like, what the hell? Ugh. All I know is it's a damn good title for a movie. What is up, everybody? Random Man here, and judging by this ridiculous hat I am currently wearing, it is Christmas time. Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to whatever you all are celebrating during this time of year, and I've almost, in fact, made it a yearly tradition to review a movie around or on Christmas, except I broke that rule last year, sorta, as I saw and reviewed La La Land 2 days after Christmas, and at the time I'm recording this review, it is now Christmas Eve, so yeah, either way, it's holiday season during the winter solstice, and as a little gift from me to you all, I am bringing you my review for The Shape of Water. Set in 1961 Baltimore, the plot basically follows a mute custodian, played by Sally Hawkins, who works in a high-security government facility where she befriends a captured amphibian creature, played by Doug Jones, and later falls in love with it. She later plans to free this amphibian creature, which causes the government to track them down as she attempts to introduce him to the oceans. Going into this movie, I would say that this was probably one of my most anticipated movies of the year for the co-writer and director alone of this film, Guillermo del Toro. I love this guy. He is an illustrious visionary director, one of the best in our current time period, having directed films such as Pan's Labyrinth, which is such a spectacle as an adult fairy tale in my opinion, and now with The Shape of Water, with the cast he has assembled and the concept that he has constructed, it got me hooked. Starting out with the cast and the performances, Sally Hawkins in the lead role of this mute custodian is simply extraordinary. She probably delivers my favorite performance of the entire year, as the way she exudes characteristics within how her character is very much lonely, trying to find her place in this world, but also being very delicate in nature, made her character super compelling. This year has already impressed me with other mostly silent or mute performances, such as in Logan with Daphne Keane and War for the Planet of the Apes with Amaya Miller. And these two performances were impressive already because they were performed by children, but with Hawkins, she basically is half of the movie. The supporting players in this movie include Octavia Spencer, who plays a close friend to Hawkins' character who works at the facility with her, and ever since her Oscar-winning performance in The Help, Spencer has been known to play sassy black women characters really well, almost to the point of being typecasted as them, but like in The Help, in The Shape of Water, she does a superb job as the close confidant to Hawkins' character and does add some comedic relief to the movie as well. We have Michael Shannon as the evil villain type of this movie who works at this government facility, who is torturing this amphibious creature that Hawkins falls in love with. Like Spencer in The Help and beyond, Shannon is also known for playing villainous characters, but like Spencer, Shannon does play those kind of characters well here. He does have a certain amount of menace to him that made me really not like him in the best way. Richard Jenkins plays another close friend of Hawkins' character slash her neighbor. He is great. Michael Stuhlbarg is also very good as a scientist who works at this government facility. He has a very rich side plot with his character. And then we have Doug Jones as the amphibious creature, also known as the asset in the film. And he is a frequent collaborator with Del Toro. He's been in Pan's Labyrinth and both Hellboy movies, also directed by Del Toro. And he is amazing as this creature who looks pretty lifelike, not just because he's wearing a full bodysuit in the movie, but there's also some visual effects on him, and just the movements that he puts on screen make him look like a really compelling character as well. Basically, everybody in this movie, especially Sally Hawkins in this film, do fantastic jobs. The writing in this movie is excellent. This film is co-written by Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor, and what they did in setting up the world that this movie displays upon the viewer is just so immaculately put together. This movie is basically Creature from the Black Lagoon with a romantic twist on it, and it's not as dark, although this movie still is very much dark in its themes, as that's Del Toro's forte here. And his handsome direction with the writing were able to make a movie that I was absorbed in from the get-go. We see pretty early on what Hawkins' character does on a daily routine and how she feels, and that she's trying to fill an empty void that she feels within her life and what she goes around trying to do. And then when she meets the asset and does fall in love with him, that's when the movie does create this very odd, off-kilter feel in it, turning into a fantasy romance, yet it felt so right because Del Toro and company were able to handle it with such nice care. Del Toro, having the creative mind that he has in this film, makes this such a visual treat. The past has proven that Del Toro is able to create such a visually striking movie, and The Shape of Water backs that up. The way he sets up the early 1960s in Baltimore is so beautiful to behold. On a basic level, the visuals of this movie reminded me of the video game BioShock. Great game, by the way. Just the production design, making it look authentic to the time period, the costumes, locations. I mean, Hawkins' character lives above a movie theater, and that in itself is one of the many tributes to classic cinema that Del Toro provides in this film. Even a TV guide inside Hawkins' apartment has the love of my life on its cover, Audrey Hepburn, to show more attention to detail. The cinematography is gorgeous, showing a lot of money shots. The movie is well edited and being stringed together. The score by Alexandre Desplat, had a lot of great melodies that added to the aesthetics that this movie created. All I can say is that if you're in for this movie for the visuals, this is certainly gonna be a fulfilling experience to watch. But again, you're also getting a story that is profound, even with some of its themes being on the darker side, but can hit home. Really, the only issue I would say I have with this movie in retrospect is with the last sections of the movie not being as well paced as earlier sections. As at a little over 2 hours, this movie is mostly well timed, yet I felt it drag a bit towards the end, and it was mostly because it would get into predictable territory and being a little schmaltzy and cheesy, but that is just how Del Toro intended it. Coincidentally, this is a similar issue I had with his own Pan's Labyrinth, yet that movie is still outstanding. But that issue in no way stopped me from thinking that overall, this is an amazing experience that Del Toro has crafted in magical ways. Like Pan's Labyrinth, this is another adult fairy tale-like story that is thoughtful in its execution, and I was so engrossed by it all the way through. This movie is currently nominated for 7 Golden Globe Awards, the most of this year and of any movie, and a lot of credit does have to be given to Del Toro, Hawkins, and other major players in this film for making this a fantastic film. This is now one of my favorite movies of 2017. I love this film. I highly recommend it. Also, be sure to look out for my favorites of 2017 video, as that is going to come by the year's end. My final verdict for The Shape of Water is 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment on what you thought of The Shape of Water, social media links in the description, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.